Getting over the death of a spouse may have been something you thought about. When you lose a spouse, you may not feel like doing anything and become numb to how random life is. What if there were ways to not only survive, but also thrive after such a terrible loss? This video tells the moving stories of 3 amazing people who have been through terrible things and come out stronger on the other side. As we wrap up, listen in as we talk about their experiences and the lessons they've learned. Learn the skills to get back up, find happiness, and keep your hope even when terrible things happen. Their stories can help you understand things more deeply, give you useful tips, and give you the strength to get over your grief so you can look forward to a better future. Is this video something you like? I want to know what you think before we start. You can help. Before we begin, I want to thank you for taking this moment for yourself. Be sure to stay until the end. I'll be sharing a small but powerful insight that's helped many people feel more balanced and hopeful. Kindly like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you'll always know when something new is waiting for you. And if you're listening now, please type, "I'm listening," with an open heart. It's a gentle way to connect, and I do read every message. Now let's begin. People who have been deeply sad for a long time may find it hard to handle things. Imagine that you no longer have a long-term partner. The memory can bring deep comfort or pain, and the loss is real. Loss and coming back from it are big ideas in Callista's story. She was 67 years old when her husband died. It was unbearable, and she didn't know what to do next. What do you do now that you've lost the person you cared about most? Callista's story shows how strong the human spirit can be as she goes from being hopeless to finding her true calling in life. Even though she had lost her husband, her story gave her strength and the will to live again. Through her moving story, we will learn that there is a way to find light and meaning even in the worst times. Callista, who is 67 years old, said, "My husband died when I was 64. Acceptance is still hard to find whenever I think about the exact moment he left. At that point, I felt like a dead body without any reason to exist. There were times when I thought about just following him. A lot of the time, I would cry myself to sleep because I couldn't take my eyes off the big double bed where I was by myself. I knew I would be sad, but old pictures of us being happy made me want to keep going. I know that if I kept living this way, my spouse would not like it. Because tears, no matter how big, couldn't bring him back. I kept being sad. I need to get my life in order and make him feel at ease somewhere else." The final choice was made by Callista. It's true that the gap between this world and the next is the saddest thing in the world. But the dead have died, and the living must go on. This very moment and the time to come hold a lot of promise. You can't stay stuck in the memories, no matter how nice or lovely they are. You must learn to live in the present, which also helps your late spouse rest in peace. It's important to put your health first, stay calm, find comfort within, and stay away from distractions when you're grieving the loss of a spouse. Be smart about it. Gradually change your point of view, get your confidence back, and go your own way in life. Don't stress out. Eat what makes you happy, sleep when you want, and enjoy a walk in the park or down the street. Instead of relying on other people, develop a gracious and understanding attitude when you're by yourself. Take care of your spirituality and enjoy being alone like a fine wine, appreciating the endless life you have. It's helpful to check in with friends when you're feeling lonely. You can be happy and at peace when you talk about anything. In old age, spending time alone will be more enjoyable if you do these things. Losing a life partner is one of the worst things that can happen. This is an important subject to talk about and understand, as we can see from Callista's story. For starters, her story shows that loss is an emotion that everyone feels, regardless of demographics like age, race, or culture. Many people who have lost a loved one feel sad and alone after the death. At some point, everyone goes through this. If they know that other people have been through the same hard times, they may feel less alone in their sadness. Second, Callista's journey from hopelessness to finding a new purpose shows how important it is to be strong. Surprising and painful changes can happen in life, but her story shows that it's possible to get back on your feet and find meaning even after a big loss. This message is very important because it gives people who are having a hard time hope. It tells them that the pain might not go away completely, but there is a way forward that brings happiness and satisfaction. Also, Callista's story shows how important it is to take care of yourself and your mental health during times of deep grief. It's simple to forget about your health. Focusing on her health, finding joy in small things, and reaching out to friends are all steps that Callista took that can help other people in the same situation. It tells people to look after themselves, get help, and not be afraid to start living again. She also discusses the power of memories and how they can help you heal. Callista felt better when she looked at old pictures of her and her husband and remembered the good times they had together. One powerful way to deal with loss is to hold on to good memories. This lets people honor their loved ones while still moving on with their lives. Finally, Callista's story shows how important it is to live in the present and look forward to the future. It shows us that it's okay to feel sad and remember the good times, but it's also important to find new ways to be happy and have a purpose in life. Finding this balance is important for living a full life, even after a terrible loss. Please leave the first comment below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me and that you think these lessons are helpful. Thanks for your time, putting too much faith in your kids for the rest of your life. Have you ever thought about what it's like for older parents to live with their grown children? Does this arrangement make them feel better and make them happy? Or does it cause problems and heartache they didn't expect? In our story, we follow the brave journey of Mrs. Amber, a 65-year-old widow who lived with her daughter for a while before deciding to live alone again. After many years, her experience taught her a lot about the search for independence and real happiness in old age. Come along with us as we look into Mrs. Amber's life and learn why being alone is sometimes the best company. The journey of Mrs. Amber. Mrs. Amber, who is now 65 years old, thinks back on the big changes in her life with a mix of nostalgia and clarity. After the death of my husband, I first moved in with my daughter, she says. I thought the arrangement would be helpful, but it turned out to be more complicated than I thought. I thought it was only natural for my kids to care for me when I got old, just like I had cared for them. But the reality of where we lived involved things I hadn't planned for. She goes on, my husband and I had planned to get old together, but after he died, I was by myself. My daughter had just given birth to a baby, and my son-in-law offered to let me live with them. I felt blessed for their kindness and saw this as the start of a new journey. Helping with housework and taking care of my grandson, whom I loved as a living link to my late husband, took all of my energy. At first, my daughter and son-in-law gave me a small amount of money to help with my bills, but over time, they stopped helping me because they thought my pension was enough. Our grandson got older, and their family's money needs grew. My pension was no longer enough to cover them. Even though I asked my daughter many times for more help, she seemed impatient and unwilling to offer it, often only helping me occasionally and not enough. There was bound to be trouble when people lived together. We often fought because we had different ideas about how to handle money, raise kids, and do household chores. I was criticizing my daughter's spending and the fact that she didn't do much to help raise my grandson, which made things worse between us. In the course of time, our conversations became tense and less polite. After thinking about the years she spent with her daughter, Mrs. Amber chose to move back into her own home. She says, "When I told them I wanted to go back to my own space, my daughter and son-in-law said they would miss me, but looked relieved. It was clear that being there had become a bother. At first, I felt alone and clueless, like I had no purpose in life. However, as time went on, I grew to enjoy being alone and began to remember what I liked. I joined community groups where I met people who shared my interests and enrolled in calligraphy and painting classes. The sense of fulfillment that now fills my days is something I didn't expect. After my husband died, I finally started living the retirement life I had dreamed of, one full of freedom, leisure, and self-discovery. What we can learn from Miss Amber's story. The story of Miss Amber is a powerful reminder of how important it is to stay independent as we age. As life expectancy keeps going up, more and more older people are having to figure out how to live alone after the death of a spouse. It might seem like a good idea to live with your grown children, but it often brings up problems you didn't expect. Miss Amber's story shows a number of important reasons why it's important for older people to stay independent. 1. Fights between generations. Living with kids can cause problems because of differences between generations. Miss Amber's story shows how having different ideas about how to handle money, raise children, and do daily tasks can cause tension. It's not just a problem in one culture. It's a problem all over the world. In the US and many other Western countries, families often face the same problem. The desire to be independent clashes with the practicalities of relying on family support. 2. The stress. Older people can feel very heavy when they feel like they are a burden. This is Amber's story, which shows how her dedication to her daughter's family made her feel unappreciated and angry. This emotional burden can make elderly parents feel like they are not worthy and can lead to depression. In cultures that value independence a lot, like the United States, the thought of being seen as a burden can be especially upsetting. 3. Happiness for yourself. For a happy and healthy retirement, you need to find personal fulfillment. This story about Amber's journey to self-discovery and her enjoyment of being alone shows how important it is to pursue personal interests and stay socially active. A lot of U.S. seniors enjoy hobbies, volunteer work, and social clubs because they give them a sense of purpose and belonging. At first glance, living with grown children might seem like a practical and helpful option for elderly parents. However, Mrs. Amber's story shows that independence often leads to more happiness and fulfillment. Seniors can have a more satisfying and honorable retirement if they are encouraged to find their own way and stay independent. In American culture, where finding happiness and freedom on your own is very important, this lesson hits home very strongly. Quickly getting a new partner or getting married again. Kelly's story, but they are important things to think about if you are thinking about getting married again later in life. By thinking about these events and what you've learned from them, you can better handle the difficulties of meeting a new partner or getting married again in your later years. This will help you make decisions that are right for you and your long-term happiness. Here are 7 great things about getting old. Aging is a natural part of life, and the idea of retirement is often linked to it. As we move into a new phase of life, it's normal to think about the changes and difficulties that come with it. When we are young, the thought of getting old may seem far away and often makes us feel bad. We could talk about the problems and worries that come with getting older. But getting older also means having a lot of good experiences and learning important things that can make our lives better in many ways. Here are some amazing things that happen as you get older. I'd love to hear your own stories and any other thoughts you have on these topics. New research suggests that how we think about getting older can have a big effect on how we feel about it. Researchers have found that younger people who have negative feelings about older people are more likely to be negative about their own aging. This contrast and way of thinking about age brings up an important point. How we feel about getting older can affect how we experience it. Consider the case of two men in their 20s who were skeptical about a man in his early 50s, working out at the gym, asking why he should put in so much effort at his age. It makes me wonder how these attitudes might change how they feel about fitness and getting older as they get older. Here are 7 good things about getting older that show the good side of getting older. 1. A better understanding of oneself. As we get older, we learn more about who we are. It takes time to figure out what kinds of work and activities fit with our skills and interests. Being more self-aware helps us be more true to who we are. As we learn to be more assertive about our needs and wants, we also learn to forgive ourselves and others more. Realizing that everyone makes mistakes and says the wrong thing sometimes helps us handle relationships and situations with more patience and empathy. 2. Being clear about your own preferences. As we get older, our tastes and interests become clearer. For instance, I've found a love for coming up with creative ideas, motivating other people, and doing a wide range of activities. I love the chance to travel and value a life that is full of different experiences. As time has gone on, I've become clearer about the kind of work I want to do and have learned how to set limits. I'm now more comfortable turning down work assignments from clients whose values or interests don't match mine. This way, I can make sure that I spend my time and energy on projects that really matter to me. 3. Know what makes a good work environment. I've learned over time how important it is to work in places that meet my specific needs. I work best when I can focus and not be interrupted. Noise and other distractions make it hard for me to get things done. By making my preferences clear to clients and coworkers, I appreciate that they respect my need for alone time to think and reflect. I've learned from working in noisy places in the past that putting my own needs first makes me happier at work and in general. 4. Trusting my gut and my own judgment. Over the years, I've grown to trust my instincts and judgment more. I now pay attention to my inner voice when I have to decide what to do. I'm better at saying no when something doesn't feel right, and I'm confident in going after things that feel like they fit with my values. In the past, I wasn't sure if I could trust my instincts alone. I often felt like I needed to use logic to explain my choices. But I've learned to value the fact that our instincts can sometimes give us very good advice. Adopting this intuitive way of thinking has brought about big and satisfying changes in my life, which has made me realize how important it is to stay true to who I am. Please leave a second comment below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me and that you think these lessons are helpful. Thanks for your time. 5. I'm still alive. Life is a very valuable gift that I am very thankful for. Feeling down when people keep complaining about their aches and pains, or when older people are sad about their lives and say they want to leave this world, is exhausting. Being alive is a blessing to me every day, and I approach each day with a deep sense of gratitude. When we consider all we've done and the chances we've had, it's clear that life happens in stages. We get through these different stages with a mix of strength and grace, welcoming the new challenges and pleasures that come our way. As we move from one stage of life to the next, it's important to remember and enjoy the journey instead of just focusing on the hard parts. As I move forward on this journey, I want to be seen not only as someone who has lived a long time, but also as someone who has gained wisdom through experience. By showing the depth of understanding and appreciation I have gained over time through my choices and attitude, I want to show that I am wise in everything I do and say. There are 6 great things about getting older. 1. Letting our bodies change as they should. My lines and wobbly bits are now something I see as natural signs of a life well lived. It's easy to get caught up in comparing ourselves to people 20 or more years younger, or to celebrities who have access to a lot of money and cosmetic procedures. But why should we judge our worth by standards that are so far out of reach? The changes in our bodies aren't just signs of getting older. They also show how full and active our lives have been. I've learned to be happy with the fact that I'm over 60 and to enjoy how my body has changed over time. Enjoying life and all it has to offer is much more satisfying than worrying about not being able to fit into a certain dress size. 2. Gained knowledge. One big benefit of getting older is becoming wiser, which is something that should be emphasized on its own. With the passing of time, we gain a lot of information and experience that helps us understand life better. Through this level of understanding, we can give others useful advice and live our lives with more compassion and forgiveness. As we grow, we get better at navigating our emotions and can treat other people's feelings with more kindness. 3. Looking at life's important moments again. Many people feel like turning 60 is a big deal, not just another year. When you turned 50, it felt like a turning point, but you were still full of possibilities and things to do. You begin to see the world differently after you turn 60. I believe 80 is a real old age, which means I could still have 20 years to live. I think about the things I still need to do and whether I have enough time to do them. Problems with my health, like my knees, remind me to be careful and honest about what's possible. Some of my dreams may have come true, like walking the Inurna circuit or becoming a concert pianist. But I've learned that it's okay to change my plans. Now, instead of trying to prove something to other people, I'm focusing on doing things that really interest me. I'm proud of the fitness goals I've set for myself, like lifting a 20-kilogram kettlebell or holding a plank. These goals show how dedicated I am to staying healthy and active. 4. Finding myself again after a big change in my life. I'm on a journey to find out more about myself now that I'm no longer married. I'm having fun redefining who I am and finding happiness in both being alone and trying new things. I've found a lively social side of myself that I didn't know I had. It's been surprisingly easy to make new friends, and I love having fun and interesting conversations with them. Being single has given me the freedom to set my own priorities and say no when I need to, which has made it easier for me to meet other people's needs. I'm getting more at ease with the decisions I've made and less interested in solving other people's problems. Instead, I'm focusing on my own path. At this point in my life, I want to accept and enjoy my uniqueness, which includes choosing to wear the clothes I like and making decisions that make me happy. 5. Knowing yourself truly. When you reach this point in your life, you can take off your social masks and be yourself. I now understand my mind and what's important to me very well. I no longer feel like I have to fit in or conform to what other people want, which was a big part of my career and personal life in the past. I've learned to let go of pressures that aren't necessary and focus on what I really want. I'm now free to dance, go to events by myself if I need to, talk to strangers, and stand up for my rights without fear. I can see the bigger picture of life now that I'm older, and I can be myself without needing approval from other people. 6th, being free from social expectations. Many of us care less about following social rules as we get older. With this newfound freedom, I don't have to feel bad about saying no to an event if I need some alone time. In the same way, I don't force my preferences on other people. There is a strong sense of freedom at this point in our lives, which lets us be true to ourselves and our values. My doctoral research showed that a lot of people in their 50s and 60s who used to be involved in politics and social issues now value being real and expressing themselves honestly. That means accepting my gray hair and wrinkles, at least for now. Please leave the 3rd comment below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me and that you think these lessons are helpful. Thanks for your time. There are 20 positive aspects of growing older. 1. Less fear of failing. Growing older often makes us stronger and better able to handle difficult things. We learn important lessons from the past, and now that we're older and wiser, We can take risks with more confidence. We become less scared of failing when we realize that setbacks are chances to grow, not impossible problems that we can't solve. 2. Make people more creative. As people age, they gain a lot of knowledge and life experiences. These resources can help us be more creative, which can lead to new ideas and solutions. Our wide range of experiences makes us better at solving problems and gives us new ways to look at problems. 3. Having more emotional intelligence. We get better at controlling our feelings and understanding how others feel over time. This change makes our relationships better by giving them more meaning and support. Our higher emotional intelligence makes it easier for us to understand and deal with complicated social situations. 4. Stronger bonds with nature. As we get older, a deep connection to nature can help us feel better. We come to enjoy its beauty and peace by looking for activities outside that will calm us down and make us feel better. Our growing connection to nature can improve our lives and help us feel grounded. 5. Less pressure from other kids. As you get older, you become less bound by social norms and peer pressure. As time goes on, we become more aware of our values and wants, and instead of giving in to outside pressures, we make decisions that are true to who we are. We can live more honestly now that we have more freedom. 6th, better ability to solve problems. We have advanced problem-solving skills thanks to the things we've been through in life. We get good at figuring out how to handle tough situations by using a lot of different experiences and lessons we've learned in the past. 7. More tolerance and patience. As people get older, they often become more patient and open-minded toward others. We gain a better understanding of and tolerance for differences, which makes society more peaceful and kind. The 8th thing is freedom from social norms. As we get older, societal norms and expectations may not bother us as much. This freedom lets us be more honest with ourselves and enjoy our unique selves without worrying too much about what other people think. 9. Learning for life. Getting older can make you want to learn new things and improve yourself all the time. We look for ways to learn and are open to new experiences that will challenge us and make our lives better. 10. A chance to try out new interests and hobbies in life. When you retire or have less work to do, it's a great time to try out new hobbies and interests. We can spend time on things we had put off before, like finding new interests and pleasures. 11. Better ability to solve problems. The many experiences we have over time make us better at solving problems. We learn how to deal with problems by putting together a strong set of strategies and insights that help us find answers. 12. Being more thankful. As we get older, we often feel more thankful for the good things in our lives, like the relationships we value. Being thankful makes us feel good and helps us value the good things in our lives and the people who make them important. 13. Enjoy more free time to think. We have more time to think about ourselves and learn about ourselves when we have fewer work obligations. This time to think about ourselves helps us understand ourselves better on our journey through life, which leads to personal growth and happiness. 14. Leaving a legacy. As we get older, we might want to leave a better world for the next generation. We make choices and act in ways that show we want to make the world a better place. We want our legacy to be one of positive influence and meaningful change. 15. Less materialism. As we get older, we tend to focus less on things and more on experiences and relationships. This shift in priorities makes life more satisfying and rich by putting the focus on what really matters. 16. The ability to teach and guide others comes from having a lot of experience. This makes us good teachers and role models. We can help younger people find their way in their personal and professional lives by giving them advice and support. 17. peace and happiness inside. Getting older gives you a sense of inner peace and contentment that comes from having lived a full life. The journey brings us comfort, and we're deeply happy with the life we've lived. 18. Stronger intuition. Our intuition has grown stronger over time. We get a stronger inner sense that uses all of our life's experiences and lessons to help us make important decisions and deal with life's challenges. 19. A bigger picture view of history and current events around the world. Because we live so long, we get to see and experience important historical events. This bigger picture helps us understand the world and how it has changed over time better, giving us useful information about how complicated it is. 20. Sharing your wisdom. Older people have a unique chance to share their life lessons and wisdom with younger generations. When we share what we know, we make a difference in the world and help other people grow and develop. Thank you for joining us today as we talk about the many positive aspects of getting older and being strong. We hope that Callista's story and the benefits of getting older were both moving and interesting for you. We're grateful you spent this time with us. If you felt even a bit inspired, we warmly welcome you to subscribe and tap the bell so you won't miss what's coming next. Your presence matters. Here's something magical. Share your age in the comments. By doing so, you're telling the universe, I'm here, I'm growing, and I'm ready for more life. It's a small act with powerful energy. Take care, stay hopeful, and remember, your journey still has so much to offer.